Hey y'all, it's your girl Gemini Jazz with House of Chiron, and we are back with another episode of Galactic Gossip. So this week we have quite a few things going on, some really intense energy. We have a annual solar eclipse that's happening in Gemini, and then we also have Mars moving into the sign of Leo. So we have something really going on this week. But before we get into this week's forecast, I would first like to say thank you for being here on my channel. If you are new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can go ahead and get all the updates and all the news and all the things that are coming out with Gemini Jazz and House of Chiron. If you are a returning person or subscriber, I would like to say thank you for being here and watching every week and supporting and all the wonderful things that you do. So, announcements, I do not have anything new or any updates, just the membership is still open. So if you all are interested in getting any updates or any consistent readings, you can do that at the membership. So go ahead and hit that description box below and sign up there. I am not doing personal readings at the time because I'm working on a few other things and my focus needs to be there. And I just don't have the bandwidth or the space to do personal readings right now. So if you are looking to get some type of reading, go ahead and hit that description box and look for the link for the House of Chiron Celestial City membership, and you'll get your readings and all your good stuff and your webinars and your exclusive content, the stuff that you don't see on my pages or on my website, you will find it in that membership. All right, so let's get into this forecast. We are going to be covering the energy for June the 6th all the way through June the 12th. First and foremost, I need to say this. My birthday is on June the 11th. So just want to throw that out there. If you want to bless a Gemini on her 36th solar return, you can go ahead and hit that PayPal link that I have and just go ahead and give me a donation for my birthday. That'll be fine. I appreciate it. But anywho, the energy for this week. June 6th all the way through June the 12th. First and foremost, we have on June the 10th that solar eclipse that is happening at 19 degrees in the sign of Gemini. So this Gemini new moon is coming in kind of loaded with chaotic energy, but also that mental confusion that we have been dealing with since we had that Mercury square Neptune energy. So as we know, eclipse energy can be transformative. It can be very impactful on our human experiences in significant ways. And so at the time, this eclipse is happening while Mercury is in retrograde in Gemini. So it's going to be cazimi. So the sun and Mercury are going to be in a conjunction with the moon. And it's going to be giving us a lot of different feels, a lot of different vibes. And anxiety is one of those things. And the anxiety could be coming up due to like sudden revelations or some unexpected information that could come in, because that Mercury energy is all about communication, information. It could also be something dealing with like your technology, like your phone or your computer or even your vehicle. So a lot is going to be popping off on eclipse day. So since the previous lunar eclipse that we had in Sagittarius on May 26th, we've been in what we call a dragon hole, right? So the draconic period is that 6-month period from eclipse seasons, right? So the draconic period is that space in between the eclipse seasons, and the one that happens in the winter and the one that happens in the spring/summer season. So now we are in what we call a dragon hole, because the last eclipse that happened in Sagittarius at the end of May, it was in conjunct, loosely conjunct the South Node, which is in Sagittarius. So that's K2. And today, on the 10th, when we have this eclipse, it's going to have crossed over the North Node in Rahu in Gemini. So this is creating some type of activation point. This is what helps us to determine that it is the dragon hole, because these things are not, they're not overlapping. It's like we have like that week and a half, almost 2 week span of no dragon energy, right? So there's none of that assertion, that dragon energy that we have, right, to go after things. So if you've been feeling like really fatigued and really tired, I know I have, And that is because we have been in this period. It's kind of like a void in a sense. So the previous eclipse that we had in Sagittarius marked the ending of a 6-month cycle. And so now with this new moon that's happening in Gemini, this eclipse is marking the beginning of a new journey, a new 6-month period in our lives. So this is setting new intentions. Keep in mind that all of this eclipse energy has that connection to that Gemini and that Sagittarius energy. So what is that? That's short distance travel, is Gemini. That's also lower level education, like your conditioning education in a sense, like grade school, that thing, or even like trades, things that you would pick up like a certification. So that's all that Gemini energy. And then also short distance travel, like quick trips, like in the city, your daily commute kind of energy. But then also with that Sagittarius energy, because they're on the different axes, the polar axis, this is all about long distance travel. This is about foreign trade as well. This is also higher education, and it's also about your higher consciousness and your belief system. And when you take into the Gemini energy and you think about beliefs and you think about your mental capacities, it's more so about what it is that you think you know, what you've learned. It's about skills, right? So this is like a skill set kind of thing versus the elevation of that in Sagittarius. So there are going to definitely be some changes that can come up over the next 6 months that we're going to see within our traveling, how we travel, maybe even some kind of policy change is happening, especially with Pluto being in retrograde in Capricorn, policy change within the structure, within travel, even in our education system. And this is going to kind of pan out over the next 6 months. So keeping that in mind. Also, right now, when you think about where we are in this space of releasing what we think we know. That's that Gemini energy, right? Kind of and adapting into that, the new beliefs, because we have the South Node in Sagittarius, and it's all about the beliefs and the higher education. So it's kind of like a really deep transformative thing about like the lessons that we learn about what it is that we truly believe and the things that we think we know. And we're in this space of releasing those things. So keeping in mind that this eclipse is going to be conjunct Mercury in retrograde, and Mercury is right now in retrograde in Gemini, and it's making that square to Neptune in Pisces. And that conjunction all at the same time is going to be bringing up a lack of clarity. There could be some deceptive communications that could come up. There could be some mental fogginess. So all of these things, the feelings of like low energy, not having the energy, not having the vitality to do something, really feeling like a lack of motivation, or just being difficult, having the difficulty staying motivated on this day. But moving forward, once we get beyond this, it's going to start getting better. It's just that right now, not only are we in that dragon hole period, but we are also having the experience of that Neptune square Mercury. So like mentally and just our physical energy, and then with the sun being conjunct, the sun is our vitality. We're not going to have the energy. So it's important that on this day, we do not get involved in things of like vital importance. We stay low key, we rest, we dive into things that are going to spark our creativity and that's going to bring forth healing. So do your spiritual practices, do your rituals and your routines. Dive into writing, dive into something creative, your creative arts in a sense. This is going to be something that really helps you. Also, when you are setting your intentions on this day, make sure you are setting your intentions based on where this energy is happening in your chart and what areas and what aspects of your chart that it actually rules. This is something that we do in the membership. We set our intentions together every month on the new moon. So we are directly under the energy of the new moon. And I look at everyone's individual chart, and I tell them exactly where this energy is happening and what sector the new moons are affecting in their home and where they need to set new intentions. So this is something that we do in the membership. So if you are not in the membership, just kind of, if you have some familiarity with your chart and with reading your birth chart, see where this moon is happening, see where Gemini is in your chart, and see what sector does the sun and the moon rule, right, in your chart, and then go from there. So good luck on this eclipse. It's going to be a doozy, but anything that is changing and shifting is necessary because it's like out with the old, in with the new. Okay. So moving on, also onto the 10th, the same day as we have this eclipse, like I mentioned previously, we have the sun conjunct Mercury in retrograde. Mercury retrograde is squaring that energy, that Neptune Pisces energy. So this is a Cazimi. This Cazimi point is typically known for bringing clear mental focus and clarity to things that were like once, kind of bogging us. But since Mercury is retrograde, it's under that influence of that retrograde. It is squaring that confused Neptune and Pisces energy. We're going to experience the usual energies of a sun conjunct Mercury transit. And, with the increased communication, the need for social connections, and sharing the ideas, but we may feel like this need to communicate something of importance, but the information is not being clear, it's not being conveyed clearly, or we're not receiving the information clearly because we have all this foggy uncertainty type of energy kind of floating around right now. Plus, we're under this eclipse energy. So keeping that in mind, that this Cazimi is just a little different than a usual one because we have that Mercury retrograde plus all the other energies that are going on. So we must check our words, think before we speak, double check everything, back up all your systems and your computers and your phones. Make sure you're texting and saying the right things. I would not encourage you signing any documentation until after Mercury is direct. So this is really like an encouragement to process before we take action on anything, especially because our perceptions might not even be clear on things due to this heavy Neptune energy that we are experiencing, as well as the eclipse, because the eclipse is like chaos. It's like upheaval. It's very fated, intense energy. So something is going to be shaken up. You're going to receive some information, or you're going to have some type of experience that kind of shifts everything and take you on a different perception, because that Mercury is about your perception than what you thought things would be. New information might come in on this day that requires you, or requires all of us really, to make a decision on something, but take our time in understanding all the possibilities that are surrounding these communications, or these bits of information that's coming in, or take your time to understand whatever situation may arise during this time. So then on the very next day, we have Mars is entering into Leo. So Mars is like the planet of action. It's our aggression. It's our initiatives. And Leo is a sign that's all about being loud and bold and your most creative self-expression that there possibly could be of who it is that you are. It's like your soul expression. It's Leo. It rules. It is ruled by the sun. So when you have these two dynamic forces joining together, we tend to become more courageous in our creative endeavors and the ways that we express ourselves. And, Mars and Leo is going to really encourage us to show up creatively when it comes towards the things that we are genuinely passionate about. So we can expect to really be filled with charisma and having that inspiration to start something that we thought about. I wouldn't necessarily initiate or launch anything new if that's what you're looking for, but kind of start getting the things going behind the scenes before you can kind of press forward, because we still have that Mercury retrograde energy going on. So Mars is really going to enjoy itself as it navigates through this kingdom of Leo, because confidence is going to be heightened. It's going to be at an all-time high during this transit. And it's perfect for the summer months because we're going to be outside and doing all the things that we couldn't do last summer. So towards the end of June, Mars is going to make a harsh T-square to both Saturn, which is retrograde in Aquarius, and Uranus, which is in Taurus. So a T-square is a triangle aspect. So it's basically three squares and an opposition. So when you see this, it's going, I said three squares, two squares, excuse me. So when you see this in the chart, this is very intense energy. So there might be a chance for heated energy, maybe even irrational decision-making. It might be some conflict, because everyone knows a Leo. Leos are very sarcastic and they're very bold when they speak. And when you have Mars, think about an Aries, right? Aries is, that very aggressive, I said what I said kind of energy. And when you put these two together, it's like, yeah, we are a lot of fun, but don't step on my toes kind of energy. So Keep that in mind. Also, Aries is very impulsive by nature. So this might bring on some irrational decision making where you are not necessarily thinking before you take action. Wait until, because this happens towards the end of the month, right after we go back direct with that energy, that Mercury energy. So once Mercury goes back direct, then we start to get that experience of this Mars T square, Mars and Leo T square. And so we're not going to be under that Neptune square energy as serious as we once were, because it's going to make another pass with that square on July 5th. So making impulsive decisions right now towards the end of this month is not ideal because things are not clear. Things are not what they need to be, or not in a space where you can actually understand them. Take your time before you make a decision. Impulsive nature is going to be through the roof because that Leo energy and that Aries energy. So I would just advise everyone to practice the pause. Like, don't do nothing crazy just yet. Just kind of think about it. Take your time. There's no rush in anything. Allow things to be what they are. Allow things to kind of flow as they should. Okay, so that is all that I have for this week. We really have a lot of that ecliptic energy that's happening. And that's like the main thing that's going on. And if you need any insight, please feel free to reach out to me. Go ahead and hit the comments. Let's get in the comment section. Let's talk about it. Let's see where this is happening in your chart. If you would like to have a deeper focus, go ahead and hit that description box and get into the membership, because we talk deep. And we are having our first webinar to talk about these aspects and different things, and to actually learn something. So that way you'll be able to understand and see certain things in your chart and have a better understanding of it. So yeah, if you are interested, go ahead and hit that description box and get into the membership. Go ahead and get in the comments and let's chit chat it up. I hope you all have a wonderful week this week ahead, and the following week, June 13th through June 19th, we have a few things, nothing seriously major besides a few sextiles. We have the Sun square Neptune, and then we have Saturn square Uranus. So that's the big energy. That's Saturn square Uranus. So Saturn is retrograde in Aquarius, and it's going to be squaring up with Uranus. So we'll talk about that next week on Galactic Gossip. And I hope you all have a good week ahead. Make sure you set your intentions on the new moon, and bye.